What up? It feels like it's been a bit, you know? It feels like I haven't necessarily actually streamed in a hot second. I've been on other people's streams, to be fair. I just haven't been on my own. I'm messing with the controller right now. Or like a TV remote, excuse me. Um my brain is a hot fucking mess. I think that's the truth of the situation. Um if you're there at the last Dead by Daylight stream before this, I apologize for kind of the abrupt ending. Um, Suffice to say, I had a panic attack. That's kind of more or less the best way to say it. Um, I had just a fucking massive panic attack. It's actually really hard for me myself to go back and watch or rewatch when it happens because like I hardly remember it. I think I came to just lying on my bed and then I realized kind of what happened. So yeah, to say that this week sucks is an understatement. Uh because not only was there that happened for DBD, um it has just been really like harsh working lately. It's kind of weird to keep up like it's weird. I want to say keeping appearances, but like I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but it's the only thing that I can think of. Cuz like with every job that I work, I don't really mention how much I play games, and I also don't mention that I stream or like want to make content or anything. For the most part, work and most people that I will know like IRL, I just exude like while I work, I just focus on work and like nothing else. But otherwise I exude this like laziness. It's like, oh, what are you doing for the weekend? Literally nothing. I'm probably gonna sleep for 48 hours and then I'll come back to work on Monday. The problem arises when you get so into keeping up the appearance that you start kind of getting treated like the runt of a family. So what I mean is, obviously, I drink energy drinks fairly, and I don't really drink it to stay awake. I drink it for the taste for the most part. Um, the if I go a day, I can sleep the same amount of time, and with an energy drink or without, I'm still like probably gonna be sleepy regardless. Like it doesn't really affect me. I'm probably have just a high caffeine tolerance at this rate, right? However, because my work likes to think that I am an eternally happy person, which yeah, I know. But since I like to think I'm an eternally happy person that just lazes about and like doesn't do much, they've actually like started monitoring me and like wanting me to like stop drinking energy drinks, and they want to like be sure that like I've like eat proper and everything. The eating proper, okay, I appreciate that part. I'm gonna be honest, but they're like, yeah, it's probably if you're gonna, you know, get go to sleep like at a reasonable time, you should like not drink energy drinks after noon. So like they tested me. They bought me an energy drink yesterday. Um and then said that I couldn't have it only for once I clocked out to proceed to drink it. So I'm not addicted, I swear. But no, I there's just been like stressful stuff happening at work. Them trying to kind of like micromanage health choices hasn't been like the most fun. And then yesterday was just a long day. And then I haven't streamed hardly at all this week for a number of reasons. The reason I will say on stream is going to be because of extreme amounts of sleep, which is not entirely incorrect. I did sleep for 14 hours on Tuesday and 12 hours on Wednesday, and then streamed on Thursday, had a panic attack, and then yesterday, I do not think if I stream, let me try that again. Try to use your words properly, Kit. If I had streamed, I would have probably said some things that I probably would regret. Nothing like offensive or anything like that. Y'all know me. What I mean is I'd probably, similar to like the one Arceus stream I did, I probably would have gotten really dark real fast, as noted by Neko's chat, who I was a guest on, where I kind of just wasn't making things fun in the grand scheme of things. I was also shit talking a lot of killers and TTVs. That was another thing that happened. Which, that in of itself is interesting. But I don't know. There's just a lot that's been going on. And obviously I want to stream more. Streaming is what like gets my mind off of things. It helps me like think. It helps with my mood. Things go well. But life has been hard for Kit lately. That's for sure. I'm not even speaking in like a financial sort of aspect or anything. I'm still, flat broke. But like I'm still like dealing with it the best I can, and I appreciate Doja's help. Just things just kind of keep falling apart at the seams, as it were. It's not entirely fun. Obviously I still want to make content, obviously I still want to stream. It's just there's just so much going on that I'm trying to like get that all figured out. I have to, before I can actually focus on like work stuff and even like content stuff, I have to focus on life things. But life right now is just so confusing that I'm just kind of like fed up with it. So yeah, there's a few other things I want to talk about, just kind of blanket things on my mind. Don't worry, it's not going to get dark like that one stream. At least it shouldn't. But there's some things that like, it kind of got brought up a little bit, I think, on Neko's stream before I went quiet. I think it even got brought up on the stream before I had the panic attack. I can't remember, if I'm being honest. But there's stuff I wanted to talk about there. And then I also wanted to talk about an update to Switch streams, as well as Arceus specifically. So, as of the last, like, after the last Arceus stream, the Switch 2 has now come out. I am not playing this on a Switch 2. This is still on a Switch 1. Switch 2 is pretty darn expensive. And frankly, you essentially, with the Switch 2, are getting essentially the Switch 1, but just better hardware, better software. Not really interesting games. It seems like Mario Kart World, people, I think like the general demeanor is meh. Some people might really like it, I guess, but it, to me, just kind of my first impressions of watching it, it just kind of looked meh. So I'm not super hyped for Switch 2 stuff. If I were to get it, really, I would get it to be an upgrade to the Switch 1. So that way, a lot of the Switch games I stream, we can get that all taken care of and just kind of buckle through it. However, I don't think I play any games that really would warrant it. I think Arceus would benefit a little bit, probably like faster load times and just kind of like everything being a little bit more smooth. but it's not a make or break situation. Smash Bros, not a make or break situation. Mario Party, same thing. Mario Maker 2, same thing. Like, I'm just throwing out games that are on my shelf there. However, there are some that I get the feeling would benefit from like the increased power. Like when I get to Scarlet and Violet and try to start doing stuff there, that would be an option. I'm thinking like the Xenoblade series, that would be an option. Astral Chain, that's an option. It really just kind of depends what I'm feeling in that aspect. But frankly, I don't think I care too much. So I think what I'm going to do, so there's two things at least regarding, like I wanted to talk about it out loud before I kind of made my decision. I think I have. I don't think I'm going to be getting the Switch 2 anytime soon unless there's a game that like absolutely gets to me and I'm like, fucking yes, I need to get that game. Fuck, it's only on the Switch 2. I guess I'm going to get it. If that happens, then cool, we'll do that. And like, I'm hoping the price will go down a little bit. Based on the Switch 2, I'm thinking like if it goes down to like a 375 or something, 400, maybe. For USD, I should mention. So that might be like another year or two, maybe just some discounts. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm not super into getting the Switch 2 right now. I kind of recommend a lot of other people also hold off. Like, it's cool that it's like, you know, a lot faster. I know that there's some content creators, they have to get it because that's got to be their content and that's what they're going to pop off on and make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of. Cool. Good for y'all. For me, it's not really on my radar yet, but I know there's going to be a time where like a year or two down the line I'll be like, all right, fuck it, I need to go get it. So we'll see. Now, as far as Pokemon Legends Arceus goes, we are changing a few things. And I believe it is going to be for the better. So, last time we streamed this game, we talked about Space Time Distortions. We were looking up what was the best way to get the Space Time Distortions. We were looking up what would be like what would be the best way to get Space Time Distortions, shiny hunting them. What's the whole gist there? And after a lot of thinking, and I do mean a lot of thinking, I think it's foolish for me to try to get Space Time Distortion shinies. As of June 2025, there does not seem to be a definitive way to constantly get the Space Time Distortions to activate. Even the Reddit post I tried off stream just to kind of like completely mimic a few Reddit posts that talked about like spawning them. It didn't work, and I did spend a few hours on it. It's like resetting and everything. It was crazy. Because of that, I don't think it's like even remotely worth it to hunt those. And if you're wondering why I'm looking off to the side while I'm doing that, I am just marking off which stuff I don't need. Okay, cool. So, the thing is, I still want to do, when we're doing the post game of this and doing the footage for it, I would like everything to be shiny because that would be funny. This means that I have a few Pokemon that we need to, and I'm going to have to pull it up here now. There are a few Pokemon here that are going to be, you know, we're going to find them, we're going to catch them, it's going to be great. But like the Porygon line, there's no way unless I spend hundreds of hours, which that I don't have, to hunt these down, right? I don't have the ability to really do that. And it's not even that I don't have, it's the fact that I work a full-time job and this isn't my job, though I would love it to be. If this was my job, fuck it. We're sitting 12-hour streams waiting for a fucking Space Time Distortion, trying to go from there. Great. However, I'm more of a realist, and luckily there are ways around it. So, something else. I guess he's not there. So, if we look at the Porygons, you're like, okay, Porygon, Porygon 2, Porygon Z. So we need 3 shinies, 3 separate shinies of Porygon. But if you're not going to be getting them in this game, so are you just going to not do the Path of Solitude with Porygon? No, actually, we will. However, there are alternates that we could do. While I did say that I am kind of more preferable to me grinding the shinies out myself without getting outside help, because of how long this stuff really will take, I don't particularly mind. Why does this? Okay, that makes sense. There's a few other things that we need to really get. Some will go swimmingly and others will not. So here's the changes. For any sort of Space Time Distortion Pokemon, we will no longer be grabbing them unless they are there. So I'm going to put this on my thing. Space Time Distortion shinies, no. However, they do sound like they show up in Scarlet and Violet. So I have my friend Derpy. They're playing Scarlet and Violet right now. I think they've been doing some like run-throughs and stuff. They've offered to help with getting some of those shinies, which I'm totally fine with. So if they end up getting like a shiny Cranidos, like 2 shiny Cranidos, cool, we'll go from there. 3 shiny Porygon, we'll go from there. We'll trade it, we'll move it in here. Bada bing, bada boom, we chillin'. However, because I want to, once again, do everything possible you can do in this game, there is something else that as I was doing the practice, or like testing it all out, I realized. While we do need a shiny of every single thing just because of, oh, that would be fucking hilarious. Sorry, there's 2 things. One is the fact that there are alphas. Like, there's alpha information. Now, here's the thing. If we look at this, right, I'm going to use Golem as an example because Golem is the one that I know we have an alpha of. So, as you can see, we have regular Golem here. If we press minus, we get its shiny form. Technically, and I'm going to use Pikachu as an example here for this because it's one of the ones I know that has alternates. Pikachu, where the fuck are tins? You're not in the Alabaster Islands. Let's try this again. Okay, so as you can see, there are female and male Pikachu. However, if we switch it to here, you might notice that, oh, it stays the same. Okay, cool. Never mind. No, just ignore me. Just ignore me there. But let's go back to Golem here real quick. So we have the shiny Golem. However, we also have Alpha Golem. However, we also have Alpha Shiny Golem. But, like, we don't need them to be mutually exclusive. It's kind of what it comes down to. I need to essentially have... I'm not trying to go for shiny alphas. That's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. I'm not trying to go for shiny alphas, but I would like to get at least an alpha of every single type of Pokemon, just so that way we have like the alpha information, because it does fill this out. That is a possibility. However, it's not something I want to do right now. It's something that we'll do later. If I do come across an alpha that's like unique, we can go from there. The one other thing that I want to talk about is these motherfuckers. So obviously you have, you know, the legendaries. And the legendaries don't exactly, well, there's no way to get shinies of them in this game. In fact, if you get Giratina and try to use, it's like Spatial Rend or something, or as shiny, it actually crashes your game. So fun fact. However, we could technically get these from a different game, get them shiny and put them here and do that there. Enamorous. Well, don't know about this one, but the rest of them we could do. Might be in Scarlet and Violet, who knows? But yeah, we're gonna try to do our best to get all of it. So the goal for this stream series now, because I'm gonna add legendaries. Yes, legendaries. Once again, I'm not super big into shiny hunting. Like, I think it's boring if you're only going after one, and it's mostly like a Let's Talk stream. However, I think in this game, it just makes sense to let's just get all of them out of the way. So, with that being said, we have also done every single quest in the game, so let me mark that off. We're going to do a shiny living dex, and we are just going to go after the Pokemon that we need that are not in Space Time Distortions, and then when we play some other Pokemon games, we'll move into this, and then Path of Solitude will be done at a later time. That's the plan. That's what we're going with. I need to go talk to this. Also, the Vulpix, the Alolan Vulpix, we will worry about later. There are a lot more stuff to do. All right. So we need berry. Holy shit. Okay, so Duat, Magby, we need Machop, we need Snorunt, we need Magby, we need Curlia, we need. I am gonna go here first, specifically because I do need more berries. I only have 47, which you might be like, Kit, that's quite a bit. I also need stuff to trade. So yeah, we're just gonna go around catching the usual suspects and then go from there. That works. So, let's talk about some other stuff then, shall we? First off, yes, I know I've been gone for a hot second. Like I said, work has been a bit crazy, and not even just now work, but like just other things in general. I'm not going to say that I've not been feeling up to streaming, because let's be real, all I ever really want to do is stream. The only thing is that I've just not been... I've not been all here. And it's kind of affecting some of the games that I want to stream and like that I have been streaming. Also, we're probably going to find a shiny Bronzor. It's just inevitable, but like we're just going to go catch these so we can get. So, what's been going on? Like let's talk about like that sort of stuff. So if I end up streaming You're so mean. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Nope, 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 nope. Fucking sleep. Oh, I guess I'm updating my system. Fine. I'll do it anyway. Sometimes you just gotta bail out. It's all good. Luckily, I didn't start recording, so we're fine. Okay, so let's talk about some things that I've kind of like noticed. And some stuff I've like watched that's like kind of like stuck with me. That's what the topics are for today. So first, Dead by Daylight. I don't think it's necessarily a secret that I'm I virtually just hate 95% of the people who play Dead by Daylight. Like, it doesn't matter if they're like nice or not or anything, unless they're like a direct friend of me, or like I do legitimately befriend them before my crazy antics. Why am I here? Huh. I didn't save after this all happened. There is nothing here. I know that much. I know for a fact that there's nothing there. This... When was that? So now I've walked back and forth. Maybe that was just in the middle of something else? I don't know. We'll just go up here. That's fine. I'll save. I gotta remember to save like previously. I thought I saved before that though. I know I was doing Jubilife stuff for a while. I lost a lot of progress. Whatever. Okay, sorry. Maybe I didn't do everything, or maybe I did it after the other stream. Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember. I had low punny. All right, so Dead by Daylight. I was watching another. So there's a few content creators out there for Dead by Daylight, who some of their content is just like really calling out the toxicity in the game, and like calling out other creators. Like if they're big creators, they just call them out like publicly. Otherwise, if they're like a smaller creator, then they just kind of like don't try to give them any attention and just like mask it. The thing is, like, I know that the whole perception is about like, I think the point of their content, if I can understand it properly, is like trying to like dissuade people from being toxic and poking fun at it. But when it's Dead by Daylight, that's really what most of the game is. You can try to be super nice as best as you can, but it's not exactly how that game really works nowadays. It's just filled with toxicity. But two, I feel like if you're called out for being just toxic in the game, then I feel like you want to like respond to it and just be like open about it, because like, why not? There's some videos out there of like people being cringe in DBD, and those people should definitely just probably not be streaming and like should be made fun of. That makes sense. I was watching one of like the toxic videos, and I just kind of like thought about like my behavior when I'm playing Dead by Daylight, and I realized that like I don't think I fully understand the point of those like I'm gonna call them like hit pieces, but I guess they're not fully a hit piece, because like me, and I know I'm probably in the minority, I'm just being an asshole because it's Dead by Daylight, but I feel like both survivors and killers just deserve a lot of the toxicity that they get given. I don't know, I've had this really bad habit lately, and like I thought about it more when there was a conversation I had recently about like my thoughts about trying to like apply to go into like Big Brother or like Survivor or something like that. Hello? Are you above me? I guess you're above me is where that is. So I'm going to assume that's a glalie. I'm going to assume that that's a glalie. Let's go check. Anywho, so we talked about that, but I came to this realization, and I think it's part to do with me. Is that a shiny alpha glalie? Which one is it? Hi, are you shiny? Can't exactly tell. You are. Interesting. Huh. Those are quite some odds, aren't they? Cool. Anywho, what was I saying? I think I disassociate people when I'm going against people in games. Unless I know them, like, personally, I really think I have a disassociation problem. And maybe that's not the right way to call it, but it's the only thing that I really got. So let me explain. And kind of like where I think this all came from. I was realizing it, this wasn't like necessarily recent, because like I said, this has just been like something that's been going on for a while. But I want to say during some game, it might be DBD or something, I think there's a stream out there of me just not treating the competitors as like actual people. With, I think, the rationale that I was saying that, well, I've not seen them, they're just also words on a screen or just a character on there. Like, until I see them face to face, I'll apologize. But other than that, they're not an actual person. And I think that stuck with me for like quite a few years. Which, I mean, has then evolved to the fact where I don't think trolls could be even classified as people. To the point where I think like Dead by Daylight players, because they're not actually people, they're just assholes, which I guess I classify in my brain as two different things, even though a person can be an asshole. That, you know, it doesn't matter if I like make fun of them and like, you know, be increasingly toxic to it, because they're not a person. And it's not a healthy way of thinking. I fully understand that. But I think this was a conversation that I had with, it was somebody at one of my jobs. I think it was my current job, where we were talking about going on to reality TV. And I just kind of like let it slip that just like, well, you're going up against a whole bunch of other people. Those are your competitors. There's not a chance that you should think of them as a friend or even just like another person that you're going up against. They are just an obstacle in the way, and you need to figure out how to overcome that obstacle. And the moment you give it some like personability to it, I guess is the way to put it, then you're losing the game. Because you're going to get attached, you're going to get emotionally attached to this person or something, or this obstacle, and as a result, you are going to lose. And they were like, that's kind of a mean way to put it, but I'm just like, well, let's be real. Are you going to interact with this person or this competitor the next time like you interact, and like, are you going to see them again? 9 times out of 10, probably not. But if you do, then yes. If you meet with them after the game or anything, then cool. You can treat them proper and such. But in the game, you know, how you do is how you do. And then I thought about it after I had that conversation. I was thinking about it with like Dead by Daylight. I'm just like, if there was a killer in Dead by Daylight that I just insulted and just went full send, super dickhead mode, you know, that sort of kit thing, and then like 3 months later meet a person, talk to them like in person, and they're like, hey, by the way, you play Dead by Daylight, but you're also like a huge douchebag to me. At that point, because they are actual persons sitting right in front of me, I see them, I'm like interacting with them, I'm like, I can actually touch and feel them if they, you know, consent to that, then I would apologize, because that fully confirms that they are a person in my brain. But because they're words on a screen, I guess I've gotten to this whole disassociation. I don't think it's like, and there's usually a next argument of like, oh, well, that's probably something brought on from playing too many video games. You get disassociated and stuff. And my argument would be seeing people on screen, like movies and TV shows, you can get this disassociation. reading books, you can technically get this. I guess it's the way that my brain works nowadays, where like, unless I'm like fully confident that this person's real, which is like some of my friends like online, right? Like 95% confident they're real, and like Doge, for example, prior, maybe there was a slight part of me that didn't think he was a real person, just like some computer program talking to me. But the fact that I now live with him, I can see him, he's actually a real person, like right then and there, you know, that solidifies it. He's an actual person. I won't speak ill of him when playing games unless he's actually being a douchebag. And I'm guessing there's like some parts of my brain where it's like it makes me feel better when I tell myself that they're a real person, which then the opposite is true, where it's like 95% of everyone else is not a real person. I hope that's making sense. It probably isn't, but that's just, it's how the kit brain be working. So what does that mean for Dead by Daylight? I guess it really just means I'm stuck kind of being an asshole. And then the you know, the fact of the matter is, oh, would you want to... Why is an Eevee there? That was weird. Could I do this? Now I got to... Let's see what we can... I'm gonna try to catch a lot of these Togepi. I just need them to like turn away. Sorry, what up, Lassie? Okay. That is actually a Togekiss taken care of now. Let me green this for right now. Okay. Well, we'll start off with a Togekiss, essentially. That's cool. But yeah, so with that being said, of like just my... Jesus, 2 in a row? Hi. Well, that's a print pulp gotten. That's 2 in the span of 5 minutes. That's cool. But anyway, is that going to change like my attitude in like me realizing that openly, that I just don't think of them as like actual people? Does that going to change like my general demeanor when I'm, you know, playing Dead by Daylight? I don't think so. It's one thing to like know that that's how I'm thinking. And I guess maybe at the end of the day, I just don't care enough to like actually want it to change. So as a result, I feel like, you know, until proven otherwise, they're just not. Isabella. Okay, I need to flee. Okay. So yeah, that was like a thought thing that I had like the other day. Just thinking about like, oh, how like maybe I should act differently in comparison, and just it got to the point where the answer is not really. I think the reason why I'm saying not really is that if a random name across the screen cannot take Like if they are just like words on a screen that like they aren't actually existing in my brain, then they shouldn't care what's being said. They should just kind of move on. Now, if it's an actual person I can see and, like I said, touch and like confirm, then I'll like deeply apologize and go from there. But since that's probably not going to happen for like 95% of the people I interact with, you know, then we leave it there. Now, that being said, what about TTVs when it comes to playing like Dead by Daylight? You know, there's TTVs and stuff. Wouldn't that mean that, like, oh hi, what about them? Because they're like, you can go on their stream and see like the face cam or the PNG or anything and confirm. And however, though, my brain nowadays is like, well, you could. I get that, sure. But now we're in the day of age where there's AI streamers out there. So couldn't they just not be real either? Could they have been an AI streamer? Could I have been an AI? Well, like, I know me myself is real. But like, none of you technically know. I could be an AI for all y'all know. And especially when it comes to like the PNG and like VTubing stuff. You have no idea who's on the opposite side of it. Is it just one person? Is it a whole team of people? And they just have an actor hired? Like, you don't know. AI of Doom and Despair, exactly. It's why, like, once again, maybe it's like I don't want to think the way that I'm thinking, but it's kind of just all I really know. Because, like, it got slightly brought up during, like, the stream with Neko yesterday, where, you know, I was being openly insulting to a TTV that we went up against who was, like, 3-genning, where I openly was like, hey, 3-genning, you're an asshole. Like, that's just kind of, you know, the general gist. You're just an asshole. Cool. But also, we didn't have any way we were going to win, considering the map. And, like, that's fine. I don't mind the fact that, hey, we were not going to win anyway. The thing that I argued with the TTV about, though, is, like, you need to own up. Straight up. You need to own up to the fact that, hey, yeah, I fucking 3-gen. I'm being, you know, a dick about it because, you know, that's how I was going to play the map. I just have to 3-gen. And if you're getting insulted by a disembodied voice on the side that you don't even know if they're a person or not, then I think you have some other issues that you need to get taken care of. Now let's talk about trolls for a second in that same vein, because I did say earlier that I don't really see trolls as people either. And, you know, if you think about it, I had like a troll issue on a Arceus stream, a few other streams, but most notably an Arceus stream semi-recently. So what's the thought process there? And it's the same thing, but if they really... this is gonna sound messed up, but like, if they are actually a person at the other end, then I just want them to hurt. Just mentally in that case. But since they're not a person, I'm just saying, you know what? I'll just go as far as this AI wants to go, or this bot wants to go. And if they're, you know, feigning getting hurt and such, then I'm going to double down. Now, to most people, is that a fucked up way of thinking? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's like kind of like a mental, probably like, some mental part of me is like missing in that aspect. I get it. I acknowledge the fact that there's probably something wrong with that sort of mentality. That being said, Weirdly enough to me, that feels like the most healthy mentality to have when dealing with just general toxicity and annoyances. It's the weird logical fallacy, and I once again, I understand it's a fallacy, but it's a fallacy that I still for some reason stick with, where if they're not a real person or they don't exist to have feelings, then why should it matter what's being said? And understand, I also am understanding enough to know that's a double-edged sword. So if somebody else can't confirm that I'm a real person, then they should be able to say anything there, right? And absolutely, that's what the trolls do, and that's what, you know, toxic people on Dead by Daylight do. They respond in kind, even if they think I'm a person or not. And if they also have the same mental thing where they don't think I'm an actual person either and can say what needs to be said, then they need to be able to, like, at least deal with how much is being thrown at them, you know? That's what it ultimately is at the end of the day, is you have to be able to deal with it. And nowadays, I think it's very apparent on the streams that my way of dealing with it is grinning, bearing it, and like doubling down to see who can crack first. And 10 out of 10 times it's the other person, because I don't think they're too worried about it, or too expecting of it, I should say. That being said, do I want to have like negativity and like annoyances and like trolls and like toxicity on the streams? Absolutely not. I want to keep, you know, I want there to be niceness between chatting. I want there to be, you know, camaraderie. I want, you know, people to get along and such. But in a case of where fighting fire with fire only leads to more fire, this feels like a case to me where fire, when you're throwing fire at it, it can get, one of those fires can absolutely overtake the other. That's just kind of my general thoughts on that. There's a lot that goes through my brain these recently. But if there's like, you know, if there's like an annoyance that shows up in the chat nowadays, I'm gonna just deal it how I've normally been dealing with it. And then, you know, we move on from there. It's actually funny, we talked about it at my work, because there's 3 of us at my job who like are really good at dealing with problems, as it were. People who just they decide to just be rude for no reason. So we have 3 of us that like can properly deal with it. The first one, so I'm gonna put myself as the last one. The first person, she will like be as condescending to them as possible to like show them that like they're wrong in every way, shape, or form. Like that's how her response to it is. It's really effective, and like honestly it's like funny to watch nowadays. There's another guy at my work who his response is just to like he will just go back to bat for you 10 out of 10 times and like make sure that if somebody on like his team is being insulted, like he will like not take that shit lightly. But then you have me, and I'm the oddball of those, because I just grin and bear it, smile at them, and just zone them out. Where like I am going to be actively listening, so that way I can like respond and like keep a conversation going. But you're talking to a rock. It's what that turns into. You're just straight up talking to a rock that has little to no care of anything that's being said. For reference's sake, on Thursday, I got cussed out for 15 minutes. Something that I didn't even do. They just cussed me out. And Yeah, 15 minutes. It's not as bad as my manager the other day. She got called a whole bunch of names and cussed out for about like 20 minutes or so over the course of like several phone calls. It wasn't fun. But for me, I just said, okay. I understand. Okay. I understand. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. Okay. Yeah, I can let them know. Sure. Obviously, my amount of caring, negligent, non-existent. Half of that's because they're not exactly mad at me. It wasn't anything that I did. They were just mad at like a situation, and I was just taking the brunt. So I know that there's no offense taken, or no offense like directed at me. The second thing though is that the more rude you are, the less I'm gonna hold you, like the less credence I'm gonna give your argument and your discussion. Because there's definitely a way to go about like situations in a very civil manner and just like trying to express it. But yelling and like calling my manager names, calling me names and cussing at me, like, and yelling and raising your voice, you don't need to do that. Heck, when I even deal with people like face to face, I don't raise my voice. I just stare at them, blank stare in the face, and I'm like, just telling it as there is. We technically had a situation like that yesterday, weirdly enough. There's a reason why most people, when they talk to me, if they're like problems, their tone drastically changes because they're physically seeing my I don't give a fuck sort of face. Like, that's just the honest truth there. You look at my face, it's the I don't give a fuck about what you're saying and why you're raising your voice. If you think you're meant to intimidate me, no. My work yesterday, though, did find out that I'd have broken someone's arm, though, in an argument. So, like, they're just like, I'm going to kit for protection now. I don't know if I mentioned it on stream. It was one of my insurance situations where, like, hey, what up, Sparks? I may have mentioned it on stream. It was one of, like, it was I think it was my second insurance job where we had somebody come in, demand to speak to the person they were talking to, which was me. I told them everything correctly and they punched me in the face. To which my response before that was, if you touch me, I'm going to break your arm. I'm trying to be civil about this. Do not touch me. And then he punched me in the face. To which, whenever I'm in like a fight or flight situation, I know this has been talked about on stream sometimes. If ever I get thrown into a fight, the bars are off. The fucking chains, they're non-existent. The moment you either hurt me or a friend of mine, you're not even... It's one of that, it's like that disassociation thing where, like, you're not a person to me anymore. You are just an enemy. You're a villain, and I need to destroy it. Only once, Blossy, only once. Because they punched me in the face. And says, what are you going to do about it? Which is not the thing you tell somebody. You don't tell somebody you just punched because you're upset about what they told you from their job and like they're actually working. Think that they're going to be fine and like security's just going to get called. I grabbed his arm and bent his elbow that way. I just no holds barred and just, yeah, an elbow. If it goes the other way, if you put enough force on it and pull in the right directions, it's not gonna work anymore. Your arm's not gonna work. I don't suggest fighting violence with violence. I really don't. A lot of those times is definitely a walk away, but My general gist is, if you try to assault me in any way, my immediate response is, you have made a grave error. You're going against somebody who now doesn't see you as an actual, like, human being. You literally just flip the switch that just confirmed that. Bye. And this was like years ago. Now, it's far in the past. But, I mean, I told my work, I was open about it. I was just like, listen, if somebody's being aggressive and they're about to assault, I will be the one to either restrain them, and if they are trying to break a restraint, and if they try to, like, punch me or somebody else, I will make it stop very quickly. I have no qualms about it. And that's just as it is with me. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm like a really... Well, there's some kids arm when you were little in basketball. Oh, that's right. Well, okay, that's not me, like, going up to somebody and, like, breaking it. That's Fat Kit slamming into a person. Yeah, no, you're right. That is the second time. That is technically the first time, and this would be the second. But that's not me, like, intentionally doing that. That's me being a fat ass and trying to block a layup and slamming into the person full speed, refusing to stop. There's that one. But I know that was actually something else I was bringing up. No, that one I did actually just fight them. That one I did, like, actually, like, just face off against them and just fight them. Because, like, I'm not, like, if you're a kid and you're fighting other kids because of, like, a bullying situation, I don't think you should try breaking bones. That's not really a good look in that case. But in the terms of what you were referencing when they were bullying my brother, no, I just goaded them into, like, trying to fight me and then beat them up. Like, no holds barred. Funny enough, those did both involve a basketball court. But one was, like, slamming into a kid. The other one is fighting kids who are... And I would like to point out that I was a kid as well when this happened. So I wasn't just an adult, just, like... hands out, just like, all right, and it's time for you all to lose. It was kids, like, I think, like, 1 or 2 years younger than me at that time, that really just, like, was bullying my brother. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure my own brother, like, that brother who got bullied, is now strong enough and, like, buff enough to where he can probably break both of my arms and such. Like, that's not... Like, that's probably a thing. But, like, back then, no, he was just a skinny kid who, like, people picked on. I don't take that shit lightly. If you insult my friends, I will bite back. Like, if you insult my friends, in the past it was family. Nowadays, you know, it's a case-by-case situation, unless your name is Word. And if you're Word, I will fight for you 10,000 times out of 10,000. So there's that. But like, because I could give a rat's ass about what happens to me. Though if you try to start a fight and, like, you're the one who immediately places hands on me, my brain has immediately stopped classifying you as a human being, and you have now just decided to fight somebody who just has little care as to what happens. Now, if it's somebody that I know, or, like, we talked about the fact of, like, if I was, like, doing, like, fun boxing, if I ever got into that, like, there was, like, the streamer boxing sort of thing, that one I would definitely, you know, hold back and such, because I probably know the person I'm fighting, and that one, you know, we just want to have a good time and, you know, see who wins, rather than just switching off. The kit brain works weird. I would also like to just say that I don't want to ever be the one to, like, immediately resort to it. I'm just a very, very defensive person when it comes to defending people that I care about, that I'm friends with. Because once again, as stated numerous times on streams, I hold my friends into supreme high regard. If you're a friend of mine, that means you tolerate me enough to like let me be around you. I am the most insufferable, annoying, stupid piece of shit out there. And the fact that you've decided that I can be classified as a friend to you speaks so much volumes to me that I will defend to like the dying breath, as it were. But like the reason I was like talking about this is just the fact that like I said, with like Dead by Daylight and how like little I consider people actually people in that game, you know, I'm pretty sure there's something mental that is going on in my brain that dictates that. So. Yeah. That's my Dead by Daylight conversation for today. Also, Sparks, if you're still here, it was a lot of fun playing with y'all. I'm so sorry for suddenly bailing on that stream. I know I think I told Derpy and Echo, but I don't know if I ended up telling you. I'm like, just making it more public. I just had a huge panic attack over what happened. I guess I could probably talk about that, because once again, this is just more of like a Let's Talk stream than anything. So for those who were, that is the like 5th alpha A-bomb I've seen today. What the fuck? The monkeys are in fucking droves today. I can't believe it. So for those who weren't there at that Dead by Daylight stream, let's kind of break it down. So it was myself, Sparks, Derpy, and then Neko, all playing Survivor together. Which it definitely was fun. There was like, you know, a lot of high energy, a lot of like fun stuff happening. And you know, jokes are being thrown. We're having a good time. Things are going great. However, I made a joke that was a double entendre that I didn't realize when I first said it until I think there was like a brief stint of silence before I realized. This is what I remember from like watching back after it happened yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, it was on Thursday, but I watched the VOD back yesterday because I couldn't remember what happened. And I felt really bad for making the double entendre. For those who don't know what a double entendre is, it's essentially you say something, but it can have like multiple meanings. Which I don't really remember what I did say. I just know something was said that was a double entendre that not only applied to Neko's character, but also technically Neko. And here's the thing. I hold, as mentioned previously, I hold a lot of my friends in high regard. Pretty much all my friends in high regard. But obviously there were some that like, you know, I hold like in high regard ever. If I, out of the 3 people we were playing games with, if I made a joke for like at Derpy's expense or anything like that, it probably wouldn't have resulted in the panic because like, once again, I hold Derpy in a high regard, but I'm like, okay, the joke can still pass and it should be fine. If I even remotely make fun of Sparks, I'm going to panic a little bit because I don't ever want to seem mean or rude to Sparks. There's a reason why Doge is a firm believer of the Protect Sparks movement. It's just how it is. But I will have to admit, like, of everyone there, Neko, I hold to such a high pedestal, like the highest of high pedestals. So saying something that could be taken the wrong way and was way more, I do remember it being edgy, I just don't remember. I think something about shirts was involved, is what it was. But because I hold Neko to such like a high standard in my brain, I just remember I said the thing, something about shirts, and then I kind of came to laying in my bed. So I think I stopped stream at some point. But watching it back, I definitely just broke and just kept apologizing and then bailed, is what happened. It's not the first time that's happened. It certainly won't be the last. When you hold people to a certain high regard and you just say something unfortunately off, it shattered. At least in my case, it shatters me. I think I apologized to Neko directly afterwards. I'm pretty sure I told Derpy about it, and then I just thanked Sparks for joining. I thought Sparks was hating every second of the stream. Because I remember up until that point, I was like, man, Sparks just doesn't seem to be having, like, any fun. Hope they're having a good time. That was an interesting thing. So I'm trying to get better. Yeah, you were playing it all day. Yeah, no, I know you were playing it all day. But I thought I was making things so much worse. Well, I think it was all right in some stances. I think you, if I recall correctly, I think you more just hated a lot of the killers you were going up against, but like my antics weren't the detriment. It was more the killers. Well, I think you did have fun with all three of us. I just think that the killers just were getting you like more and more tired. That's what I presumed, like when I rewatched it back, but that's what I figured. But I think in the moment, because like I was having a hard time before I broke down, since I was having a hard time like differentiating like who was like in like what situation was going on, I think I was like starting to think that you were getting annoyed, but then it became more clear that it was just stuff. Okay, we're still good. I was trying to get you to invite you again for yesterday, Sparks, because Neko had like another space, and every random we kept getting was awful. But apparently when you steal someone's Banui, they sometimes just don't respond unless your name is Blossy. I'd also like to point out, for the record, I would like to point out that prior to me stealing everyone's Banui, I watched an hour and a half of Angry Bunny videos. Let it be known. Would have mattered? That's fair. I'm just saying, I watched an hour and a half of Angry Bunny videos. They were thumping. Some did some mad hops. It was great. And then I proceeded to steal everyone's Banui, to which Cheese didn't even respond. Cheese did not even say anything regarding it. Sparks didn't say anything, which now I know it's because they were sleepy sleeps. And then Blossy proceeded to light my house on fire. So one of those responses is different than the others. Listen, there was a random short about a Banui. And they were thumping and it was adorable. And then there was one that looked kind of like a guinea pig who also was thumping. It did like the most angry, adorable hop I've ever seen. And it made me really just want to have a Banui. And then... You have responded... Listen, I'm actually surprised that Cheese never responded. That's the real shocker there. Cheebs had no response. I don't even think Cheebs knew that they had a Banui. Sporkertons, I'll check here in a moment. That's an Alakazam. This blows. This blows again. Fuck my life. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, what did Spark say? Sparks grabbed a match, charged at me, said that they had another one, and then started spinning in circles. That is the most Sparks response if I've ever seen one. Ah, I see you stole my Banui. That's fine. I have another. I have 3 more. So good. Let me just spin. I don't know why I was on like such a bunny kick the other day. Like I just something in me. And then Neko invited me to play DBD, and then that's when that all happened. So. I also was considering streaming this last night. I was just not in any right mind to stream yesterday. Like, even though I was on Neko's stream and like everything was like more or less okay, there were still other things going on that like, shout out to Neko for like doing everything possible to try to convince me to stream yesterday. It just wasn't gonna happen, and I fully knew that it wasn't gonna happen. Like, I give credit where it's due. They really tried. Today we'll do quite a bit of streaming, assuming I don't just randomly get depressed. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. As long as I don't randomly get super sad, we should be okay. There is technically 3 things that are kind of already making me sad, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out. I mean, Sparks, if you want to play some DBD today. I still need survivor footage. I would like to say, for the record, yesterday when we played Chaos Shuffle, I got no mithered twice and lived. Also, hold on. Okay, before we talk about this game, I do have some other stuff to like talk about with that Dead by Daylight stream that I was a part of with Neko. Okay, we have an option. How many do I have? 35. All right, we need these. These are important. Crazy. Sure. Okay, so the second game that I had no mither. So it was me, Neko, I think Neko's friend Ice. I think that's their name. And a random. And the random was Laura Croft, so we're just going to call her Laura for now, okay? We were in Hawkins, going up against the Wesker, and no, like literally no shade to the Wesker. That Wesker was a great player. They were really chill. They're really cool. And they played the game really well. I have no shade to the Wesker with the perks they were given. Good shit. Good shit all around. Okay. This motherfucking Lara refused to save Neko and refused to save Ice. Like, they hardly touched a generator. They did jack fucking all, okay? So, I'm going around. I'm the guy with no mither. For those who don't play Dead by Daylight and know what that is, no mither means that you're injured, which means one hit from the killer and you're down. You're down for the count. Your legs are broken. For some reason you don't bleed, but your legs are broken and the world knows it, okay? So, I'm over here, injured out of my mind, saving people, okay? This Lara, doing nothing. Breaking totems, hiding in lockers, not even, like, healing or anything, just doing their own thing and just not giving a shit. It's typical random behavior, sure. Finally, it's down to me and the Lara, and I hadn't been talking in games at that point. I was actually, like, getting really, really depressed outside of DBD at that time. So, at that point, when the Wesker found me, I had to motion to the Wesker to follow me, and I straight up just demanded Neko tell me where the Lara was so I can have him kill the Lara. Now, in all fairness to this Wesker, they had no idea who was doing the saves. They had absolutely no idea who was doing the saves, and that's completely understandable. You have one person who is healed, and you have another person who is injured, right? You have one person healed, one person injured. What do we got? Cadabras? Okay, cool. So, because of me being injured and they have no idea why I was doing this, they had to figure out which person was the asshole. Okay? Their entire thing was they needed to figure out, was the injured guy the asshole or was the Lara the asshole? So, Killer had to make a play, okay? They knocked me down and both of us still had one hook left. They got knocked down and they hooked me and was like, okay, the Lara is going to get you. If the Lara unhooks you, then the Lara is the good person. If the Lara doesn't hook you, then I'm sorry. Then I'm going to hook the Lara and you're going to be able to escape with like the auto camp or the camping, the anti-camp mechanic. Okay. That's what I can tell what their plan was. So Lara then goes in for the save. What the Lara did not expect, though, is that I don't know why they didn't expect this, that I know how the anti-camp mechanic works, and they didn't expect that I wouldn't save them. So as a result, Wesker, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the killer is Wesker. Wesker then goes to the Lara and hooks her. To which I just leave and find the generator I've been working on. I just straight up leave her there because I know that I have enough time to get the generator done to stop the anti-camp. So I finish the generator, the anti-camp stops, she can't be saved, she's dead. Wesker tries to, like, convince me to, like, save her. Obviously, I'm not saving her. And then, you know, I get worried because I look like the asshole. Now, for those of you who don't know Neko refuses really most of the time to have like the in-game chat open, and like usually like indulge in my like toxic behavior in the game. And I get it, you know, you don't want to see all that sort of stuff. I get it, but the Lara tried to call me out for being an asshole. To which I immediately responded with, I saved everybody in the match, and I had no mither. I was injured. You can't be saying that I you know, wasn't doing anything because you deserve to die from, you know, deciding to hide. To which the killer like was trying to go to bat for Laura, thinking that like she was the good guy in this. But then Neko responded, also pointing out that nope, the guy who was injured was the one saving everybody, and the Laura did in fact not do anything. And the last thing I saw before I left the match was the killer going, "Wait, what?" Like he was so baffled that I was the good guy. Oh, it was funny. It's just that was like one of the last games we played. It was it was so funny because like I had the feeling that the Lara probably had like more that she wanted to say to try to like make me be the bad guy as much as possible. But I had a dead chat that was on my back that was able to like go to bat for me. And once again, the killer couldn't have known. Like, why would the killer think that a guy with no mither was saving people's lives? It's a good time. A lot of the games last night were good. There was the TTV that I argued with, like, and then the Lara. But, I mean, everything else last night went fine. And then, yeah, Neko tried to convince me to stream. Kudos for her to trying to get me to stream. It wasn't gonna work, but I give him an A for effort. Sparkertons, wait, are you playing this game right now, Sparks? Or is Blossy playing the game? You're playing Stardew? Sparks, I have a Pokemon to give you. I have an extra shiny that I was like, yo, Sparks would really appreciate getting another shiny. I was like, it specifically has to be Sparks and no one else. Sparks, you're not even gonna indulge in the joke? I know you don't care about Pokemon. I was softballing you a joke. It was the easiest joke. I'm throwing a Starly. Nope. Damn. Sparks is shutting down my jokes. I can't believe it. Sparks, I was going to trade you back your Ponyta. Literally the day after you gave me your Ponyta, I caught a shiny Ponyta. So I had this whole grand plan of being like, oh, I got a shiny. Let's give Sparks it for friendship. And it was just going to be your Ponyta. Just back. That was the whole plan, and you just said no. You're like, nope, you're being denied, and now I'm stuck with two shiny Ponytas. One that's not even mine, and one that is. I know, but like the joke is that so the whole plan would be we'd get into like the trade screen, right? We'd get into the trade screen. And then you'd be like, okay, what is it? And I wouldn't be like looking at, like I'd be looking around in the whole thing, and then I would just go right to your Ponyta, and you'd be like, wait a second. This seems familiar. And then you would have canceled out, knowing you. And it would have been the perfect thing, being like, why? I'd be like, well, I have 2 now, so I don't know which one I don't want. It was the perfect plan. It was the perfect plan, and Sparks ruined it with a simple nope. How could you, Sparks? I also have another funny story concerning Sparks, though it's funny for a different reason. So as y'all know, in Twitch chat at least, I don't know if y'all know it in YouTube chat, but Sparks before Aswheel and Asriel was Sparky, and that evolved to Sparkertons, Sparky Spark and the Sparker Bunch, Sparksicity, like all the different Sparkses. It's like how King Cheese is like Cheebs, Cheesus, Swiss, Pepperjack, you know, all the different cheeses, right? So Sparks' current name right now. Sparks, I'm sorry, you're always gonna be Sparks to me, and I hope that's not a bad thing. I know you change your name a lot, but it's like I could change my name for a lot of reasons, but I'll always be Kit. You're always Sparks. See, look it right there. There's Marzipan. I don't even remember why you named it Marzipan, but it's Marzipan. Anywho, what's not? Sparks to me, you'll always be Sparks. That's just how I know you. Jeebs could change their name to like Salmon Trout 32, and they'll still be Cheese. That's their thing. I feel like Aswheel is my final form. You're fine if I call you Sparks? I mean, I know Derpy and Ray also call you Sparks, but the delay is probably a little bit cumbersome right now. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's good to know. Anywho, but anyway, so Sparks' name though, like, also is now Aswheel, right? So I decided to text Sparks the other day, just being like, Aswheel. Now, there is an issue with typing out Aswheel like that, because every bone in your body, when typing Aswheel, will want to say out loud the wheel part. So if you say you work in an office with quite a few people, and there's also, you know, some customers there and everything, and you're like kind of trying to like sneakily like text on your phone just to try to figure out what you're doing later that day, and you type Aswheel and also simultaneously say out loud the wheel part, you then have to get into a 5-minute conversation about you looking at tires for your car, and found a funny one that just said wheel. Yes, I may have forgotten that I was working while texting Sparks, and said out loud, without even thinking where I was. I literally had no I just like look up and I'm like, sorry, my car needs like new tires and everything. I haven't got them changed. I just found one that said wheel. It was great. I don't think they believed me, but for my own sake, I'm going to think that they believed me. So that's cool. Okay. Who is next? Oh, we could do this. Relax. Yeah. Okay, how does one evolve a Togepi? Is it friendship? Chat, you're smarter than me. How do you evolve a Togepi? Is it friendship? Yes. Thank you, Spring. Hi, Spring. Spring, you never sent me that link or that team build. I finished the campaign though. I finished the campaign for Nikke right now. This is crazy. Okay. Well, we're going to go over here. You know what? We're going to go over first. What I will say, without giving any spoilers to anybody in chats and in both YouTube and Twitch chat, I really hope that the four beasts just team up with the commander. I hope Leviathan stops being a little prick and finally just like agrees that, okay, maybe I should like listen to what this commander guy is saying. Like, yeah, we love Leviathan. I just need Leviathan to stop being a prick biscuit for like 2 seconds. Secondly, not a fan of the ending. Like, it's cool, don't get me wrong, and like I popped off when I saw what happened in the ending there, because like I know who that is, obviously, and like I'm a huge advocate for this character. Like, I love them to death. They're fantastic. That being said, the fact that we've now had 2 cliffhangers of the same thing, not entirely a fan of. Like, you gotta flip it up. It's cool. They're back. You could have done a little bit different. Different character. I don't know. That's just me. The Anise side storyline, I love her. I love her old crew. The intelligence team, I love them. Weirdly enough, this is actually insane for me to say, so like if Cheese is here, Cheese needs to cover their ears. I'm actually now kind of team Neon. After what Neon does and what Neon's planning to do, I think Neon has now improved as a character. Absolutely. I'm team Neon right now. I am absolutely team Neon. She did good. She did good. And then the stuff that happens in Matisse, love it all. And yeah. Also Stellar Blade collab. I'm so excited. So excited. Anyway, sorry, Spring showed up, Nikke had to be discussed. It's just normal. Alright, this is gonna suck. Let's just call this as it is. There is a chance that this is not going to work. But I have these just in case. That is a Basket Legion. Okay. You're a fucking alpha? Really? That's crazy I'm catching you. Anywho. Sorry, we're trying. The Basculin is like one of the hardest Pokemon to catch, so. We'll go here next. Do I need Celio? Is that what I'm looking for? I do need Celio. Alright, Basculin is the next one. Alright. We're hoping for Sparkles. Dude, look at the different, like... We love the different colored Basculin and Basculegion. None of you are shiny. You know what's funny? When I played Sword and Shield, the one shiny we got there was Basculin. Okay. I think I'm gonna go here next. Just to get an idea. I do need one more penguin. Spring, what are you up to? Bailey's fair. I need to do what's it called? So my dailies now, because it's just Blue Archive and it's Blue Archive and Nikke right now. And I will be going back to Final Fantasy relatively soon. It's just I'm taking a bit because I just played that game nonstop for a while, so I'm just kind of taking the chill time, taking some chill time. But my Nikke dailies, like, I'm actually caught up. Mirror Container can suck it. Like, I hate that boss with a fiery passion. Doesn't matter who I use. It just, nothing works. I can't do anything against that fucker. But, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. My note card says that out of all the characters left, I have 2 helmets and 5 gloves I need to get for all SSR units, and 3 helmets and 11 gloves for all rare and super rare units. So, not too shabby, if I'm being real. Excuse me. Ah. Nope. Why is it flipping around? Holy shit. But Blue Archive. So Blue Archive right now, there is a week-long limited banner for the tracksuit students. And one tracksuit student is the last student, or the second to last student that I need to finish the game, or to finish my teams. And it's the last limited character I need. But holy fuck. A new horde seems to... Please don't be Arcanines. Okay, goodbye. I want to face them. See y'all later. Okay. So, there's Tracksuit Yuka. And I need to hit pity, is what it comes down to. I need to find a way to hit pity, because I need Tracksuit Yuka. She's the only character that can, like, super easily, she's the only character that can actually, like, move other characters, and it's needed for some raids in that game. There is another character that can do that, but she's not as good. She's actually an awful character, but Tracksuit Yuka can actually, like, do good shit. So I'm like, fuck. I need to... Okay, I'm just gonna run around. So I was like, alright, I need to get Tracksuit Yuka. I have 2 days left. The only way I'm going to be able to get enough crystals is, well, there's 2 ways. One, I have to do all the friendship events, which I'm trying to barrel through. I'm going to probably focus on that later. But the second thing I need to do is get through the main story of the game, which there are still like numerous chapters that I need to do that I just don't have the time for. So I don't know if I'm going to be trying to, I don't know if I'm cutting my losses here or what. I did get a new character. I did get Rumi, and Rumi is, she's not a good character to use, but she's attractive AF. So like, also I say students, but they're also, oh. I don't think Rumi is. Maybe Rumi might be. Weird to say in context of the game. Also, it is insane. So Blue Archive is coming to Blue Archive is coming to PC. Okay, it's coming to PC. I think it's not relatively soon, but it's going to be soon. At some point like 2025, I think. There is a tag. I think there's a tag on it from what I saw. I don't know if it's still there because I don't think I saw it when I was like wishlisting it. It's part of the event that's going on right now. But like, hold on, I gotta double check. I'm gonna flip to this, and when Derpy sees this footage, is being like, "What's going on?" So if we go Blue Archive. Cute, funny, anime, epic, rich story. This game contains suggestive character designs and mature dialogue, and certain ages may be restricted from playing. That's fan. There was like a thing that just straight up said that there was like sex and nudity in the game, which that is unequivocally wrong. Oh, there we go. This game is marked as containing frequent nudity or sexual content. Which, like... No. I'm trying to think about, like, what characters they're, like, referring to. Like, there's the sexual content. There's... It depends on what... how do I word this properly? Think, kids. You don't do anything with any of the characters. There's some that like definitely like flirt a lot, and some like the CG animations, like the backgrounds, can be like a little bit sketchy. But no one's like ever like nude, and two, like no one is doing anything like sexual. Unless your name is Hanako, and if your name is Hanako, you are just constantly throwing around sexual innuendos everywhere, because that's just your character. But I'm wondering if it's in relation. This is what I'm like kind of excited for. I'm wondering if it's in relation to the PC version might be getting translated differently. Or it's just purely talk about the Korean and Japanese dialogue. Because, so the game is fully voiced in either Korean or in Japanese. But if the base game was made with like Korean text, right? So translated on mobile, like a lot of the translations actually are mistranslated. And it's usually into something like, it's not even just translated, it's just like rewritten is more what it looks like when it comes to the English one, because it takes away like what it actually translates to. I think a big example of that was like there's a lot of the times where like the characters, they are students. Like, it's just... They range from like 16 to 18, essentially, is what that is. And the ones that I like are 18, so ha. But anyway, they frequently try to flirt with Sensei, who is like the player character. Like, they frequently will drop like flirts and all this sort of stuff at him. And most of the time he brushes it off and everything, depending on the character, which usually is like, if it's like legal age throughout like everywhere, most of the time they're like fine with it. Like, there's like some flirting back. But in the Korean text, it's like super like, there's just way more of it compared to the English one. Though it makes sense in the English one, because in the English one, I think there's like, I think it's, no, it's not Hanako. There's another character who like, they're flirting, but they're like, essentially like a second year in secondary school, high school, whatever it is. And like that one, at least in the English dub, and rightfully so, the sensei's like, nope, stop, bad. But I think in Korean it's like more accepted, and it's like, no, don't do that. But I don't think there's nothing like actually done. Also, bikinis are nudity, then. Though, speaking of Blue Archive story, though, so I finished the first two chapters, like, pretty quickly. Like, I finished them, like, I think right when I got the game and downloaded it. But when I was doing, I held off on doing the second sections, like, chapters. And I just got to, finish the first chapter. And the first chapter was like okay, like the first sections, 2 chapters, amazing, incredible. You really bond with the characters, and like really, really sweet story. But then like section 2, chapter 1 is like, okay, like I think I get what you're going for. I think, but like, what? Like, this doesn't, like, there's like a story beat that just kind of gets glossed over. Since the game's been out for a while, I can kind of, like, potential spoilers for like the next like 5 minutes. So until like, let's just say until like 1:55 on the stream timer. So there's like the beat of the second section is that it's Sensei helping out the game development department, like make a game, and they really quickly gloss over the story beat that they go into a ruins to find like this old game console, which is just a Switch. Just, it's like, it's essentially like the Switch or whatever Link's like tablet is in Breath of the Wild, the Sheikah Slate, is that what it's called? But like turned off, and then they find a girl who, her name is Alice or Eris, in just like chilling there, like asleep, is what it is. And then it just gets glossed over, and then Eris's like entire personality is just really just, she's imagining like her real life is just a game sort of thing, and she uses like I have leveled up, I've gained people in my party, like that sort of stuff. And it's like a little cute, but it's like, okay, this is odd. And then they make a game. And I'm like, okay, so this seems vastly different than the other, you know, the other chapters, but whatever, like, I'll vibe with it. But I'm now halfway into the second chapter's stuff, where like they finally wrap up a lot of the story beat stuff, and I'm just like, why? Like, it's essentially now they're doing this whole thing where Eris is a robot who is supposed to like destroy the world or something. And she's supposed to like she gets activated by like these drones or some shit. To which apparently she's a fan favorite character. In the looks department, I understand. Personality wise, not so sure about that. But her name is Rio. And she shows up and she's just like, "Hey, sorry to like meet you in this awkward time, Sensei. I'm here to just fucking kill Eris." Like that's her whole thing. It's like she's a weapon. She's a terrible thing to exist. We need to completely like dismantle her, get rid of her, kill her. She injured this person. Like, fuck her. And I'm like, hey, this seems a bit excessive, because if she's a robot, you could just like maybe try reprogramming her. Y'all are literally a scientific school where this is happening. You literally have a hacker unit who could probably just go in and just rewrite her code to not kill everybody. Seems like a valid thing. And you know, there's like this like arguing back and forth, like secret agent sort of stuff happening as well. And Sensei, like, I like Sensei as a character because one, you can do like whatever you want as Sensei, but also two, when it comes to like his students, he wholeheartedly cares and will do the best he can for his students to not go down the wrong path. So, and Rio's another one of his students, and Eris is another one of his students. So he's trying to protect Eris, to which Rio like starts saying, is he really an adult? Is he really a teacher? He sucks at his job. Like, you're terrible. Like, she's not a person, which is weird considering all the stuff I just said previously. Like, she just deserves to be destroyed. To which Sensei's like response is, you will not talk to another student like that, and she is one of my students. So we will get through this together. And I'm like, go Sensei, but why is Rio being such a dick? And there's like, the last thing I'll say is there's the part I'm at right now. She like was able to like easily hack like Eris's weapon and like to disable it. To which my brain's like, why don't, if she's a robot and you just easily were able to deactivate the ruined weapon that she had, why don't you just go into her, like her servos or whatever, and just reprogram her to like not destroy the world? It's, I don't know. It's just like, I can see the like, I'm guessing I would say maybe the physical appeal that people have for Rio, but I cannot understand like actually super liking the character right now, unless she gets better at the end of the chapter. Like that's what I'm like thinking, is she might get better at the end of the chapter. But we're gonna have to see. I think I want to finish the second chapter though by the end of the day. Like that's kind of my goal. But like my goal was to like breeze through the game so I can get enough crystals to get Tracksuit Yuka. But like I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time. Nike's story though was really good. I think Spring also just started playing Stellar Blade. Yeah, we'll see. I've been really like vibing with some like good stories and games lately. It's been a while since we like streamed story games, right? Like I think the last one would technically be Final Fantasy 14. I know that my union or my free company is still like, Kit coming back, which I should probably message them being like soon. Because I know Foxy and the rest of them have been like, Kit, you gonna be playing? We were just in a call the other day. I think right now it's Tia, Tia, Foxy, and Iconis who are all still playing together right now. Truck got burnout. I'm not burnout. I just have other stuff I'm playing. I don't know where the rest of everybody else went. They kind of just disappeared. So we'll see. Also, we have gotten 2 new shinies today. Let's see if we can kind of get 2 more. So also, this is like another reason why we're not super like trying for the Space Time Distortion stuff. Because once again, like it's very unlikely that we'll see any of them, and like we need Magnemite. There's only ever 3 Magnemites, so this is when I have to call in derps and everything and be like, "Hey, can you help me out?" What the fuck? As an Alpha Vaporeon. I'm gonna catch this just to add to the Alpha list. So I pulled up like Twitter briefly. People really just dislike. I like how people. Alright, I was gonna like because we talked about Switch 2 like briefly. I still need to explore. There's freaking so like. Obviously, there's been like some new like changes in like Mario Kart games and everything, right? Like Mario Kart 8 had writing on like the walls and everything, like the anti-grav stuff, some newer items. It feels like World has like the open world racing where it sounds like you can just drive like between the race like to the next track, which is like interesting and cool. You get to drive as the cow. Like there's some cool new characters, but it doesn't seem like there's anything new, right? There doesn't seem like there's anything new when it comes to Mario Kart World. And Twitter's essentially like saying the same thing. There was like a video that I was watching that like also kind of just said like it just feels like it's just a open world version of Mario Kart 8. Which is like, y'all, it's Mario Kart. Like, it doesn't change too much nowadays because, like, we've gotten to the point where we've seen almost everything in Mario Kart. But there's something else to also, like, consider, too, is, like, we're not going to be getting too many, like, updates in terms of, like, new versions of, like, Mario Kart and other things. Because, like, yeah, there was, like, Super Mario Kart, so it was, like, the SNES one, where it was, like, 2D, and then you got Mario Kart 64, and they were like, oh, you can drift now and do this crazy shit. And then there's Mario Kart Double Dash with that, the mechanics in that, and there's, like, cool shit, like, all around in that. But then you get to, like, say, like, from, I would say, Mario Kart Wii to Mario Kart 8, there's probably not too much, like, different. But, like, it's still, like, different enough to where, like, you feel like, okay, you know, this actually feels, like, pretty interesting. But then you're getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to... Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Mario Kart World. And I think there's 2 issues that happen. One, They stayed with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe way too long. Way too long. I don't care what anyone says. They stuck with that game way longer than they should. The fact that they released all like these brand new courses and then like I think what a year or two later they release World, like that's just kind of a kick to the dick for like Mario Kart players, right? I don't know, that's just what it feels like. I feel like they shouldn't have waited. Like at that rate, you're just like, you should do Mario Kart Deluxe and like do an expansion. Like maybe that's what you should do. I think maybe doing expansions to games, like you can do, once you get to like a definitive version of a game where you probably can't like make it any better or like add new ways to the game. If you can't do that, maybe just do like an expansion. Like a full-blown, hey, it's the same game, except here's like new things, we can update it, like an MMO sort of thing. Maybe that's what you want to do instead? I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I think everyone's going to switch to the Sonic Racing game. Well, the Sonic Racing game is now super hype. I didn't watch the State of Play. If anyone wants to talk about State of Play or, what is it called? It's State of Play and the Summer Game Fest. I heard that the State of Play was ass. So I don't know how much we could talk about with that. But I heard that the Summer Games Fest had some interesting games. So, hey Derpy, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know too much about what's happened on the State of Play. I didn't have a chance to watch either. I think there was Romeo is a Dead Man, which I thought was a hilarious name. I don't even care what the game's about. Having the game called Romeo is a Dead Man is great. Like, I don't care what anyone says about that. But yeah, no, I heard it was super boring. I heard there was like not too much like really talked about. So that was semi-interesting, yeah. But there's also like what, a new Thief, right? I think there was a new Thief mentioned. Something else. And then the Summer Game Fest, I think the Summer Game Fest might have had some good games. I didn't like fully see. I know Resident Evil 9 got announced, so I do want to like start going through all the Resident Evil games. Like that would be cool. Like once again, there's a lot of stuff to do. I got content to make, ideas. Y'all know how it is over here. PSVR. What is Romeo is a Dead Man? Or Resident Evil 9? Thief? Oh, yeah. VR seems cool. Like we played a few games on VR. I just, if as soon as people can stop getting sick playing the game, then cool. Back here. What else was there? Vlogs just linked to No Straight Roads 2. We have to go back and restream that game. So we'll do that later. I don't know, there's not too much new stuff. Dude, Finion again. Let's see what we can... I'm all before talking about new things. Sorry, speaking of Sonic Racing, because like that was what we were talking about briefly before we were talking about other things. The fact that you're getting for free, I would like to mention this. For free, you are getting Hatsune Miku, Joker, and I don't remember the third one. Someone's gonna have to remind, is it Kazuya or Ichiban? It's from Yakuza, right? What's the fucker's name? I don't remember. Steve. It's hard to say how much the trailer, but I'm always down for any Resident Evil. Steve. No, there's Kazuya's the main dude. Who's the one that got added? I know Kazuya's the main dude, and Ichiban's like the guy that everyone likes too. Who's the guy who got put into the racing game? Who got put into Sonic Racing? I know one of those fuckers got put into it, right? Still, Hatsune Miku and Joker going into it, that's pretty funny. But also, like, that's the thing, right? Couldn't tell you, that's fair. They showed Minecraft. Wait, what about Minecraft? What's happening? Is Steve gonna be in there? Here's the thing, right? There are so many different, like, similar games out there, right? Right? You got your kart racer games, and some are good, some are bad. And there are some, you know, there's various games that you can see that are like, okay, these are cool, but like, are they? Oh, dead ass. Interesting. Boss, you're gonna have to send me that, please. I'm intrigued. But like, here's the thing when it comes to those type of games. As much as are y'all gonna be pissed off at me? Like, what's the play here? The seals have no idea what's happening. They don't understand. Sorry. What I was saying, though, is there are, like, people live and die by Mario Kart, right? People have lived and died by Mario Kart for ages, and they're like, nothing else compares to it. And you look, and you got fucking shitty shit like Garfield Kart. That is just terrible, right? Like, it's like, Garfield Karts! And it's like, okay, it's shit. But then you have Sonic All-Stars Racing and, like, the Sonic Racing games, which look to be... This doesn't bode well. Well, let's go back over here. Could be a TikTok, that's fine. Which I've heard are actually great racing games and probably even better than Mario Kart. Yet, no one talks about them or plays them because it has to be Mario Kart, right? You have like Pokemon, right? You have Pokemon, everyone loves like catching Pokemon and everything. And then all of a sudden, Pal World, Pokemon with guns. Well, this shit's actually way better than Pokemon, but we're still gonna play Pokemon? Like, no, you play more Power World. I'm playing Pokemon because I'm fucking addicted to it. Sucks, but that is what it is, right? Please. You got, like, you know, Harvest Moon. Here's actually a big one that then ended up changing. You had Harvest Moon for the longest time, and now you have Stardew. And Stardew is just infinitely better Harvest Moon. Sick. That's a good change. There's got to be more games out there that people will want to play. Like, that's the thing. Mario Kart does better. Yeah, they do better analytically. Like, don't get me wrong. Analytically, absolutely they do better. But there's games out there that are absolutely far better than them that, like, people need to keep their eyes on. That's what it is at the end of the day. Now listen, I like Harvest Moon as much as the next guy, but Stardew Valley has beaten Harvest Moon in a lot of ways. Then again, I do think Rune Factory has beaten Stardew in quite a few ways as well. They just got to up it, and when Chocolatier comes out, then it'll be better. A bit longer is what scares me. Also, Derpy, were you playing were you playing Sea of Thieves with Cube earlier? Or like or yesterday, rather? It's too stressful? Fair. Or were you just happen to be on at the same time? Too limiting? Fair. Save. Gonna save. Thank you, Blossels. For the Doge though, Sparks was meant to join, but he was okay. No, I saw Cuban and the friend Craig playing, and then I proceeded to like also see that you were playing, but it didn't like it didn't show the linking up like how it normally does when people are all playing the same game. So I was like, oh, maybe were you playing with Cube and Craig? Though like you don't really know Cube that well, and you also don't know Craig at all. So I was like, probably not, but maybe. I just found it funny. So apparently Cube is a PvP one player from what Doge told me. That is true, which is why I don't usually play Sea of Thieves with Cube, because I'm just going to rage even harder than before. I probably, like, part of me was like, maybe I might come back to Sea of Thieves, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So, we'll see. I also had news for for the lads for when the Caboodle plays again. That's not what I wanted. That's fair, Derpy. No, so Doge swears up, right, down, left, right, you know, that he wants to play. Like news, yeah. So Doge swears up, right, down, all the directions that he wants to stream. He really wants to stream, and it's like Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be the kit stream days with Doge and such. And I'm like, okay, one, I need you to stick with this, and two, like, I need you to, like, actually pay attention, because if you don't pay attention or anything, like, there's not a reason to do it. Yeah, no, that's pretty much how it is, Derpy, but we'll see. But anywho. I don't know if the Caboodle's still gonna be a thing. Is more so what I think the situation is. And I don't know if Cube and Slime have talked to Doge. Part of me like feels like I need to be the one to start the conversation, but it's not my place because I'm just a spectator for what's happening. And like both sides involved are friends with each other, so I'm hoping that they would talk to each other to like figure it out. But I don't know. It pretty much, here's how the talks are essentially going. Doge for like streams with like other people. In terms of like with like say Sparks and like Derpy, of course, like I know V Rising I do want to get back to at some point. I know there's other games that all three of us want to stream. With even Ray, like there's plans moving forward with that. I know like that's just that seems gigantic. Like there's ideas moving forward there. With Doge, he says he wants to play through Persona and he wants to get through all the Persona games. where we do 5 and then 3 reload and go from there, which I'm like, cool, but like we got to stick with it. I was advocating for us to restart the New Game Plus save file because it's been about a year and a half since we played it. He is saying no, so I have to now do a recap for what happened. So that'll be fun. We'll see what happens. I know where we left off because it looks at me in the face every now and again. But anyway, but he says, he like swears up down that he wants to like do streams with like the Gaboodle, which is me, him, Cuban Slime, as well as doing streams with just me and him to get through games, because he wants to get back into streaming. However, while there are some games that we do want to stream together, I think there is a hesitancy of all 4 of us streaming together. And the reason I'm making it more public is that if any one of them watches, I just need them to talk to each other. I need them to just, I've told them, I've told at least Cube that he probably should talk to him. But like this, if I don't know, I don't think either of the 3 of them watch the streams, to be completely honest. But I need them to talk to each other to sort out the stuff going on. And it really, like, I don't like taking sides with the friendship stuff, right? I just want to just stick to my own. But I think Doge needs to get a reality check. I think Doge really, really needs to get a reality check for what he thinks are jokes and what are not jokes, is what I'll say. That's really all I'm going to say just regarding the situation. I have talked with Cuban Slime, and there's actually plans, funny enough, for all 3 of us to stream together. We actually do have some plans, possibly even like say Wednesdays. Was kind of like an idea. So it's possible on Wednesdays you might get like a me, Cube, and Slime stream without Doge. It just depends on, you know, how it all works out. Funny enough, because I'm just going to be open about this one, because Cube and I are so confident that Doge is not going to be free this upcoming Tuesday, Cube and I might do Sonic Adventure 2 Tuesday and do the race that we've been talking about for close to like 2 years. So that'll be fun if that actually happens. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I need those 3 to talk. And more so, we need to... Derpy, I guess, first off, are you still here? Because I can't actually see who's in chat. But secondly, if you are here, when you played Sea of Thieves with Doge, who else was there? You're allowed there, sir. It was just you and Doge? Okay. I thought you ended up playing it with Allie as well as one of Doge's friends, the Banana Derpy. Hold on, I'm gonna message you, Derps. He was asleep. Gotcha. A little dicey. Alright. What stone do we think it is? Do we think it's the Dawn Stone? Do we think it's the Shiny Stone? Let's try the Shiny Stone. Yes, it is. Okay. BP and speed level a bit. Ah, gotcha. Just not sure what was going on. What a fucking spread. All right. Machop's actually a banger one. All right, so we're gonna go fish to chop to this guy to up here. Maybe look for a Magby. Tentacool, weirdly enough, is hello? Oh, it's you. Hold on. Where'd you go? Wait, is it you over there? Hold on. You're not shiny. You're also not shiny. Where'd you go? Where did that Mantike go? I mean, I don't entirely care about the Mantike. Right? I don't. Yeah, I don't really care too much about the Mantike. Save right here. We can see if it's back there in a bit. Let's just go over here. Dude, Overquill is crazy. See if we can get a blue one. This is crazy. This is very scary. You're telling me, Velocity. Holy shit. Okay. It's just because, like, doing this on the back of the Basket Legion sucks. That's all it is. So, that's an Alpha Mantine, by the way. We might go down and we can see it again. We can see if the guy's there still. I don't know if they are or not, if they fled. I didn't think Mantite could flee, to be honest. All right, I think that's enough for there. Holy shit. Okay, we need to get out of here. Flee. Flee, 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 flee. All right, we gotta get those fields too. Get some Machops. So, yeah. Anyway, last thing I will say just about like the situation in hand is I just need people to talk to each other and sort out differences and fix shit. Because I don't want to this was a Machop. I want everyone to know this was a Machop fucking place. I wasn't expecting Buff Boys or Us over here. I don't want shit happening on stream. Like, I already, like, get enough flack for a lot of the things that happen anyway, with how I deal with trolls and, like, just being toxic to people I just don't think are people. When it's, like, people that I know, I really would prefer them to, like, not. So, we'll see. We did also float around the idea of the, there is another game that just came out that seems pretty cool. It's, like an Ace Attorney puppet game. Looks pretty funny. Was considering it. Yeah. Never guess where. TikTok. I'll be down if we can get some people. If we get people for that, I'm absolutely down. It's like kind of like a slight reason why I wish my community was bigger, so that way we can actually like play like and I network better, so that way we can actually play with people. But oh yeah, no, I would want to figure out the game blind too. Absolutely. Dude, why do these Magpies just not exist? Yeah, no, it looks absolutely silly and chaotic. You stole my Nintendo Swatch! Everybody gasp. There's also a game coming out soon. It looks like trash. Just don't get me wrong. It absolutely looks like trash, but I do want to like maybe get it. It's a free game that's based around the movie As God's Will, I believe is what it is. It's essentially like a really shitty version of like childhood games that you have to survive. What is it called? Drippy, you're gonna see this on the footage once I do this. When I get paid. Popular upcoming School 666. That's what it is. Don't know what the movie is. It sounds somewhat interesting. So, I think it's called As God's Will. It is a movie about a bunch of Japanese students who go to school one day, and the first thing that pops up is one of those Daramaka dolls, like the Matryoshka dolls, excuse me, or Daramaka. No, I think it's Matryoshka, but no, it's not Matryoshka. It's Daruma dolls. Shows up, and they have to play a game essentially that's like red light, green light, where if the doll sees you when it turns like moving, your head explodes into like balls and blood. Oh, did he make the anomaly game Hospital 666? Okay, because like the character models leave something to be desired, but like the game itself looks like it would be interesting. So it looks like it's a bunch of like, essentially it seemed like it was based off of As God's Will. But yeah, like a bunch of the movies, but essentially like a bunch of them like essentially playing a bunch of these death games that are based off of children's games. And they have to like survive to get to the end. What was it? Because like you have the main guy who's the hero, of course. You have the girl as love interest. But then you have one guy who like is really good at the games, but just treats everyone like a piece of shit. Yeah, I think he ends up like killing a few of the people too. No, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I think it might be a freeware game. We'll see. Yeah, no, there's like, it's weird that like the indie games, I think it's weird that like indie games are starting to pop off majorly when like indie games have always been really good, don't get me wrong, and like they are amazing to play, but like now right off the like AAA games are starting to fall off because of how expensive they are, and indie games are just like, all right, now we reveal our final form. Like that's the crazy thing to me, is like a whole bunch of indie games just like show up and just say, hey, we're fucking amazing, and prove it. Like that's the crazy thing to me, is that like they say prove it, and they do. Full stop. It's great. Skeleton dabbing, yeah. Please don't look away. Looks away immediately. Oh my god! There's definitely some party games I want to like. See, the thing is, as far as getting people together, like Blossy, I don't know how comfortable you feel like being on stream, but like that's the reason why like I haven't asked if you wanted to ever like join for a lot of the things, is because I don't know how comfortable you feel like just talking on stream, being part of it. But like I know Derpy, like you, me, and Sparks would be down to play whatever, and then you have okay, where is this fucker? It's you. You're here. Where the fuck are you? How in the world am I about to catch you? Wait, no, you're right there. What the fuck? Where'd you come from? You joined the line? You fucking blended in, you conga line motherfucker. God damn. That conga line motherfucker. That conga line motherfucker just showed up, was like, I emerged within the group. It's like, alright, cool. I have college soon. It's all good. It's up. I mean, it's up to you. Not everyone wants to be on stream. I know I could probably. Here's the thing. Like, as much as I would be like, oh, Neko would probably want to join, I don't know if Neko would be fine with all of like the craziness and everything, energy. I don't know. I need to get a group of people that I feel like would be down to play all these party games, so that way we can also like stream them. Because there's also, you know, achievements associated with them, so... Well, okay, so that means I have to get cheese. Cheese would have to be a part of it. Alright, this is the point where I need to message Cheese to see if he will join for the puppet game. And if he does, I have to make him agree to holding Boss's hand. Don't worry about what that. Nah, Doge. Once again, Doge needs to figure out his stuff first before I'm letting him join in party games. Like, I'm fine if he can like be like civil with like the caboodle and everything, then cool, we'll be fine. But if he can't be civil and like cordial, when playing like with a bigger group and everything, like I need him to like really think things through here. No, mostly like I trust that he would be, but just after like recent things, I don't know if stress is getting to him. I don't know what is specifically going on, but he needs to really like get his shit together. And to be fair, this is coming from somebody like myself who doesn't have his shit together. Like, let's be fucking real. I'm still like dealing with like debt stuff and, you know, the fact that I keep putting off content creation. I sleep an ungodly amount of time. Like, I understand that even around this house, there's probably, I don't know why they don't have me do more. Because I feel like I offer that I can do more, and I'm totally down to do more, but they don't, it doesn't feel like they want me doing more. So I think I just live here, and that is really it. So Cheese would fit right in, that's for sure. The problem is, one, getting Cheese the game, and two, Cheese's availability. Cheese did respond though, so I haven't seen Soups in a hot fucking minute. Soup's been okay, because I haven't heard from Soups in like ages. Like, I sent them some Udapri stuff and they were like happy about it, but that was the last interaction I had with them. I have to hit Cheese the important question first. I need to know why he did not respond to it. That's sweet, Blozzles. I don't ever go on TikTok. I've been told that I should go on it to like send shorts and everything, and it's over my head. I don't really deserve TikToks. What do you mean? I get sent, like, my boss will like text me TikToks and stuff every now and again. They have no idea that I have a TikTok. Once again, they don't really even know I stream or anything. I'm getting the cheese's information here, y'all. First off, rest in peace the cheese Banui, because Cheese decided to just neglect me stealing the Banui. The Banui's not dead. It's just it's just sleeping right now. I have Cheese's Banui, but they don't seem rather perturbed by the fact I stole their Banui, so I need to figure that one out. All right. Cheeb says that it looks cool, but I have not. It does. I don't know if that's a vote of confidence or there. I'm getting information. I'm getting the info. You know, I just realized I don't think I'm allergic to rabbits. Bunnies. Question. Would it be bad? I know the answer is yes. I know the answer is yes. I don't need to ask any further questions. I don't need to ask any further questions. The answer is yes. I don't even need to think it any further. Sparks is back. Derpy, Blossy, you need to ask Sparks the question. The key question. He's gonna ask. I don't know what you're talking about. You've been here? Decided not to talk? That's fair. What? I'm not gonna ask the question if I feed a bunny a rabbit. Is that bunny cannibalism? No, I would never ask that question. Been listening in. What do you mean, I? It's a completely normal question. I couldn't tell. I was just thinking back as I was like, oh yeah, rabbit's actually like a food. Because like in Hell's Kitchen, they make rabbit, like they cook rabbit every now and again. And I was just like, but what if a bunny like decides to eat it? Just decides. Like, do they like, they eat it and they think about it and be like, shit, that's Thomas. They just like stop, have like 1,000-yard stare. Like, I have just eaten Thomas. No. Loses it. Bunnies do eat each other, by the way. What? What? That's wild. That's fucking wild. Usually they're babies, but why? That's wild. Poor Banuis. If they're weak. I am so ready for the natural habitat short on this. I really want a natural habitat short on this now. I need this. The duck one that they just did was hilarious. It was so good. Please. That Fidion one is a potential. Chat, I need a vote here. Do I do the permutations for Fidion, or should I just go in guns blazing? That's an Alpha Drapion. Good day. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna have to see what it turns into. Okay. I do need Starly. Motherfuckers. This is gonna suck. Why is there another one of these? Wow, that was fast. Okay. All right, it's Finion time. All right, chat, I'm going to need some counting here. It's time to do some permutations for Finian. Here's the thing. We're hoping for Alpha Finian. We're not really hoping for Luminian. If we get Luminian, it's not the worst thing, but we do want to get. Now, if any one of these Finion are Sparkertons, Sporky Sporks, Larry, you put an E in there. They run away. I can't permutation this because they're going to run away. And I don't think I have the capabilities of... It's all running away. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Oh, there's the minions. Yeah, I'm going to say this is not going to work. Just because the fact that they all flee. Plus one of them shows up shiny. I don't think this will work. The Cheebs has appeared. The fucking superstar had decided to show up. Can't believe it. Cheese was saying, no one doesn't mind if I'm not there. Fucking everyone minds if Cheese is here. A fucking parade and a half if Cheese shows up to a stream. Also do like the fact that she's only said hi to Blossie and no one else. Leave it to the Cheebus. Word, seems there. Magmars. Used to that. To be fair, I did tell Cheese that only Blossie was... They only needed to mention something to Blossie, and that was it. So, like, it's not the worst thing Cheese has done. Yeah, the only reason Cheese is here is because I sent Cheese a message. It was an important message, too. Please don't blow up the face. That seems bad. You are insane. Please don't blow up. Dude, Overquill's such a funny thing. Yeah, I want to restart my Power World. I was thinking of doing it modded, but like we need to do it modded. There's so many games to play, so many games to record. Will one of these Magbies be orange? Survey is saying no. Will one of these Magbies be the color orange? Did you know that Magby turns orange to pink? Don't you dare, you dickhead. Oh, I have to go on the Apom. Hello? Get the fucking monkeys. This is actually important that I do this. No, you're a dickhead. You're dying today. Literally. Look at how happy the monkeys are. They're doing happy monkey things. Who the fuck? Where did you come from? I like how Cheese also just said hi, and now everybody but Derpy has vanished. Cheese showed up, stole everybody, and left. Where's the middle finger picture? I've been ahead. Hello, Cluffers. You're asleep. Hi, you're adorable. You're dead. Out of nowhere, that's fair. Look at that Clefairy! Get the fuck out of here. No way a new horde has formed. Fucking scatter! Ah, they learned how to climb a tree! Well, I'm just gonna go right around now. Not much else to do. The reported Pokemon seems to be gone. Crazy. Rainstorm has ended. Alright. Well, with Cheese appearing for literally half a second, I believe that means that we do have another person for Puppet Ace Attorney. That being said, Sparkertons, are you down for Puppet Ace Attorney? Excuse me. Excuse. Brain floundering. Oh, no permutation method today. We'll do permutation method if the Rotoms show up again. We've been really in the Cobalt Coastlands the entire day today, though. Not bad at all. More motherfuckers of a lady. Let's go. We need to go get food eventually. But hey, if I find a Tangela, then I can do the same joke that I did to Sparks to Blossie. Let's go! Ugh. Big stretchies. Oh, fuck. We love the big stretchies. Why am I yawning? Why are there so many yawns when you're sleeping, but nobody yawns when they're awake? Well, I don't know the reason, but it's funny. That's a big giant woof woof. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I am flying away. Now it is time to find a sparkle amidst all the direction. That's all I got. I butchered Rainbow Connection. I'm sorry. Look at that fat quillfish. Quillfish fat as fuck. We love Tubbs the quillfish. That's an alpha basculin. So wicked thing to do. What a wicked game you play. Never felt that way. A wicked thing to do. I don't know that song that well. Dude, I'm still looking for the trash. I'm still looking for the trash, man. It's crazy. That's fucking Alpha Mercus. Yes. A wicked game you play. Never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do. You know, I would like one pink tentacle. Just one more. Or that fish over there. That one could have been a different color. I think it's green. Sparky Sparks and the Sparkle Bunch. Nope. No one wanna fall in love. That's another shaking tree. Fall in love. I just want to sing now. This is where we're at. What a wicked game. I might just do this now. Just surf around, and if a basculin shows up, then we just panic. Oh, derps. I also was gonna ask. If you end up getting those shinies from Scarlet and Violet, and putting them and trading them to Arceus, I got you on the cost. It's fine. Excuse me. Tired. Yo, it's only been 3 hours. Kittersons, you gotta wake up. You have, how many Porygons do you have? How did you already get the Porygons? That was so fast. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Bum bum ba-dum. Bum bum bum. Return to the village. But why, Dad? Damn. It's just a crazy fucking... They just want us to go too. Could have got more, but didn't bother. Well, we need one more. Turples, we need one more. For the plan. I need a Porygon 2. I should say just have the regular Porygon. Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as you get... If you get 3 of the regular Porygons, I could just evolve them. Not that bad of a day. I got 51 Aguavas. Alright, let's see what we got. There's 2 of the snowberries. There's 2 of the snowberries. We're going over it. Wait, shit, I need to... Hello, I have somebody who is level 30. Alright. You're gonna go right here, bucko. And this Abra, who doesn't know anything else, is gonna go right there. Wait. No, You're gonna need assistance. If you do, send in the sparks. Get your snowbird. Get these tree bastards. I've been waiting for one of you to look slightly different. I guess technically. That's a big Why are you like this? Obama snows. It's Obama snow time. Obama snow. Obama snow. It'd be really nice to at least finish one of these places. Just saying. Come on, snubbers. You're terrifying. Adoo. Can one of you please be the color I'm looking for? One of you just got bigger. So this doesn't matter. I am starting to believe that Snover just doesn't have one. Where am I going next? Do what? I don't want to go peel Swain. Okay. Kit's feeling the sleepiness, though. I'll tell you that much. Hello, Pillow Swine. Give me 2 seconds. Sleepy Kit. Excuse me, were you also trying to join the fight? I remember when I was younger and I loved the fuck out of Sweenub. There's my bright yellow fucking Pilo Swine. You assaulted me. Can't believe this. Do it. I might just end it off after this. We did get 4 shinies and 2 of them being brand new. So might be I might take a nap for a little bit. I just feel myself getting sleepy. Why are you so angry? Well, let's see if we can find a snow runt that's female. God damn it, Pilo Swine. Be stomping. That's a Frostlass. Just fucking straight up disappeared. Hit a tree. Dude, they just flee. They just straight fleeing. How does one stay awake? Apparently energy drinks are not the solution. Let's do this real quick. It's not saving. Hello. Cool. Last one. That didn't. I think after this one I might just rest a little bit, get some food, and then we'll stream some more later. We'll see who's available, who's free. Oh, excuse me. End off on a high note, Kadabra. It's an Alakazam. I just threw that guy's balls off. Games have ended. Seriously? This is the worst birthday. Well, let's do a loop around and then we should be good. It'd be nice if we get one more. One more unique one. We'll see. I mean, we did start off the stream with 2 back-to-back, so not bad. Look at the lick-a-tongues. They just want a tongue. Dude, one of these days, that Alpha Frostlass is gonna, like, sparkle. And it's gonna be, like, eye-opening. That was an Eevee. Ooh. Brain's trying, y'all. Brain is really trying. That was like the moment I started drinking this energy drink. So maybe they just make me tired. Caffeine does the opposite. Does Kit want to go to sleep? Caffeine. Alright. Zooming around. Masculine everywhere. One of these days we're gonna see a basket, then it's gonna shine and then vanish. Yeah, the tiredness is getting there. So, well, as I finish up this last part, we might do 1 or 2 more streams today. We'll see. Might be Dead by Daylight. I might do Nubby's Number Factory actually too. We'll see. There's some ideas. Some ideas circling the Kit brain. I did want to stream this for like 3 hours, and by golly, we did. But we'll see what ends up happening. I just get tired so easily. It's like this at work too. No matter what I do, I'm always tired. Guess I just don't question it anymore. So, alright, cool. Well, with that, I thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the stream. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, and or evening as this lad just falls into the water. There we go. We'll see you all later for more Ready Gaming. Peace, everybody. Bye.